Hello and welcome, fellow subscribers and other racing fans. Today we have another iRacing career race. This is a Bathurst, as you can see, and actually it's the fourth attempt for me. Actually a bit of a rough time here. Many crashes, own crashes from other guys, but let's jump right into this fourth race I did here at Bathurst. Enjoy! So as you could see, start went well for me. I could overtake Nacho in the yellow C4, however it was not as easy to keep him behind because he wanted to overtake again on that uphill section. I qualified in P5, a rather conservative qualifying lap where there is the number 2 driver in trouble already. As in one attempt I was messing up in qualifying already, so yeah, it's a hard business around Mount Panorama here. You only have 2 qualifying laps in iRacing's Blancpain Sprint Series, so if you crash on the first, you need to get back to the pits as soon as possible, else you will lose your whole qualifying. Always problems in this corner, can't really get around it with my setup, with my car. Not the best, I guess. Let's see where Nacho is in this situation. He is right besides me. So let's keep with his camera for the moment. He attempts an overtake, but I don't want to be overtaking in this situation. However, I am a little bit slow for the moment. As I said, one time I crashed myself in leading position. Another time I was on P3 and I got crashed by another driver in front of me. And another overtaking attempt by Nacho here, and I got nervous. And that caused me to lose the position against Nacho and also against, what's his name? It is, I think it was Yannick. So 2 positions lost while going wide into turn 1. It's a bit of a shame, but well, now I had a big gap to the guys behind, which was very nice. So I could concentrate on my driving. Main problems about all those crashes in the races before is that you lose a little bit of the spirit, of the racing spirit. You can't give 100% anymore because it's always in your head, on your mind, that it's so easily done that you're messing up here. So I went a bit too conservative and actually also not aggressive enough in the beginning. That caused me to get nervous and to do the mistake in turn 1. However, from this point on I kept my concentration a little bit better. I had the chance to follow other people, so this was no problem anymore. The leader is gone at this point. also, well, we have to say the first 3 people are gone at this point. As I said, I started from P5, was P4 after the start with Nacho in the yellow C4 behind me. But then when I messed up at this exact point in the lap before, I fell back to, what is it, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it was P7. And now we can see the guys in front also fighting. Nacho with his C4 and, well, where we see the roof in front of us almost crashing. He got a wheel spin or something, at least some oversteering in the upper corner. That gives us another position. As you will see later in the race, and I don't want to spoiler you, it's just a fact that the C4 of Nacho is not as fast as our McLarens on this track. There is some top speed missing, definitely. So hard time for him defending for overtakings and also overtaking. I found, by the way, I found better lines later in the race for safe racing. I had some nice laps in preparation to this event. I wanted to say 205s for me possible. I have seen people driving 203s, so there's definitely some time to gain in iRacing for me. However, for the moment, that was what I could achieve, and obviously in this qualifying it was on a clear conditions, bad conditions, and I was a little bit conservative as I said, so it was a 2065. However, it didn't seem to be a bad lap time at all. I was usually in the middle split of 3 splits, or even in the top split, so to run safe lap times, people were as slow as I was, I guess. And another attempt of the McLaren in front of us to overtake Nacho in the C4, and he did it. So what I could observe in my position way back here was that the C4 just not fast enough on the straights. Interestingly enough, the 3 people in front, well, we won't see them again the whole race. But I can already tell you it's not as boring as it sounds. So current position, so you can see it, is a position 6. And we are following a Nacho and the other guy in the McLaren, who seems to be definitely faster. By the way, there is a pit stop during this race. It's the Blancpain Sprint Series in iRacing, and that means you only get 60 liters of fuel for your car. So, well, that's obviously not the full fuel tank. Full would be 130 liters. So if you want to drive the whole distance, and I guess you should drive that, you need to go into the pits once for a fuel. As I didn't know exactly how much fuel I would need over the long term, I only tested it in shorter stints. And obviously you're pushing more in shorter stints and you use more fuel. However, I put 30 liters in my pit strategy. No tire change, of course, as the race is only about 40 minutes long, and Bathurst not particularly a track that burns your tires. So anyway, 30 liters to put into the tank. Afterwards I saw that that was a bit too much. 20 liters would have been enough. So right now doing a 2:06 in the race, which is only 3/10 slower than my qualifying lap. That shows that my qualifying lap was not the best what I could show. Usually, at least from my experience in project cars, if you're having a perfect qualifying lap, you are almost a second faster, especially on a long track like Bathurst. Faster than in the race, obviously. So, where do you need to pit? When do you need to pit? I mean, it's hard to say. It always depends on your track position, I guess. Where are you on track, and what would it help to go into the pits earlier or later? Also, your setup. Is your setup better with less fuel in the tank, or is it better with more fuel in the tank? Well, it's an interesting question. For example, in the McLaren I always felt a little bit more comfortable with around 60 liters in the tank. So, well, full tank like 100 to 130 liters didn't feel very nice. Also, like 5 liters to 40 liters didn't feel the best. So I decided to go into the pits maybe a little bit earlier than other guys, just because I can. I guess that was the thought. There was not really a thought, because I knew that I wasn't faster than Nacho at this point. I wasn't faster, so a undercut, a traditional classic undercut, it wouldn't have worked. I mean, why would it? There's no tire change, so no fresh tires where you can do fast lap times after you got out of the pits. Also, there was no traffic on track, nothing. Also, I kind of had my positive side effects from having Nacho in front of me, because he was faster on the mountain and I was faster in the straight, so I could always use his slipstream. So in fact, what I want to tell you already at this point, it would be stupid to go earlier into the pits than him. However, that exactly was my plan at this point. I was thinking to do that. Oh, now I have 34 liters in the tank. You need around 4 liters per lap, and I wanted to refuel 30 liters, and 60 is the maximum, so after this lap I would be able to go into the pits. So that was my thought, and yeah, I was ready to do so. However, now you can see I'm getting closer to Nacho. I'm getting into the race a little bit more, finding my pace. Yes, that's not only like a saying or something like that. I mean, you hear that in real life motorsports as well. No, it's really some drivers, and I'm definitely one of them, need need some time to really get the pace you can actually do. However, as always, last corner before the downhill straight, I mess up a little bit. Not sure what I'm doing wrong there. Maybe a little bit, just a little bit too fast maybe, although it didn't feel like I was too fast. It's just like that. Yeah. A yellow C4 always nice. I mean, it's a nice thing to concentrate on. It's a bit of a psychological thing maybe. For me, I like a bright car in front of me. Well, it helps me keep focused, I think. I don't know why. I know that in NASCAR, for example, when they started to use very bright colors like the bright green of I think the GoDaddy car from Danica Patrick, people were not so happy about it because, well, it's distracting for some, but actually I do kind of like it. So now we have 30 liters in the tank, so now my pit strategy would be okay to refuel 30 liters. Believe me, there was so much thinking going on in my head. But I also kept my pace pretty much. 2:06.5 now, so as fast as the qualifying lap, which was with less fuel. Okay, taking a wider line around here now, it helps me to get the car straight, approaching this corner, and that was better. Not so much understeering. Kind of developed another line through the downhill section during the race, which is nice, I guess. Okay, getting close to Nacho without wanting to overtake him. Just showing myself in the mirror. By the way, don't do this if you don't actually want to overtake someone, but want to take advantage of his speed, like I do in this moment. I realized that as well. Oh, and I messed up a little bit. Hitting a curb in the McLaren, very bad idea, very bad idea. Now what I wanted to say, I mean, if you are looking like you want to overtake people in front of you, they will react to that. So they might go a little bit defensive, and that means they are going slower. And, well, the advantage of driving behind them and using their pace is gone. So don't make them nervous if you don't really want to overtake them. Just stay behind them in the slipstream. Could see Nacho there a little bit too far to the wall, and the road actually has a strange camber. The last 20 centimeters to a wall are completely off camber. So once you are too close to the wall there in the last corners of the first sector, it's getting dangerous, yeah. Much too slow downhill here. I improved a lot since then. I basically braked too much, too early. But this corner is better, and now I can use his slipstream again, which is very nice. And in case you are wondering why I went to the right there are some nasty bumps in the road which cause you to go to the right. I think, I'm not sure, but I think next lap I will go into the pits, so let's see. I was also seeing that there is someone in front who had his problems. Probably hit the wall or something like that, so he was slower. And yeah. Again, I was thinking into going into the pits early because I didn't want to lose time with overtakings that were probably coming up. I love this corner combination here, by the way. It's awesome. The slight left-hander and afterwards the pretty tight left-hander. It's I don't know. Whoever created this track and the track layout, he's a genius. I mean, obviously, it was probably Mother Nature because they just wanted to find a way over the mountain, and nature was defining the track limits. So you can see, guy hit the wall, but he's letting us by, although it is for position. So really nice of him. And we should be in P5 now. It's still showing P6, so I'm not sure anymore. However, let's see, being in the slipstream here, but again, I didn't really want to overtake Nacho. Just want to take advantage. And so I lift the throttle. You might not have heard it because I was talking, but he must have realized that as well, that I'm using him. And so I decided, now that I was pretty fast, or maybe faster than Nacho, I would go into the pits. Careful, activating a pit lane limiter a bit early. It was here that it needed to be activated. But yeah, refueling. 30 liters in, shouldn't take too long, and yes, there we go. On track again. I had the huge advantage that there was no traffic at all. There was no one behind me, there was no one in front of me. I just had a free track, which was awesome. So what we're doing now is we will watch Nacho. What is he doing? I mean, everyone else around us, there is no one. There was someone behind, but he was over 10 seconds behind. And the guys in front, over 10 seconds in front. So it's only between the positions between Nacho and myself. So at this point I was just waiting, where would Nacho come out of the pits again? Okay, so let's watch Nacho. Hope I can find him. There he is. So let's fast forward and see when he goes into the pits. Oops, and there it was. I was too fast. Sorry about that, guys. So 2 laps. He only stayed out 2 laps more than I did. But let's see. And he messes up on the pit entry. That was really unfortunate for him. Because remember, when I went into the pits, I was only well, 2 meters behind him. So was that enough to overtake him? Let's see. He's refueling as well. I think he took less fuel, so he has a slight advantage here. C4 not as thirsty as the McLaren. But as you can see, there I am in front of Nacho. That was unfortunate for him. His slight off track in the pit entry caused him to lose the position to me. Now he's a bit back, so that might be not as interesting anymore. I will fast forward a little bit. However, I am slower at this point, so we will see how this turns out after a few laps. Getting closer. He is getting closer big time. I think over the mountain he always got like, and he's very close already. Over the mountain I think he gained like 6/10 in one of the laps. So, however, on the straights again, McLaren very fast, and he didn't really have a chance to get closer there. Oops, I think he messed up a little bit here. However, braking later than the McLaren definitely. That's why he also attempted those overtakes in the first laps. Or in the first 2 laps. Until I messed up in turn 1. I think the race was 19 laps or something like that. Yeah, that should be alright. Around 19 laps. So we are in for the last 4 laps now. Let's see what Nacho can do over the mountain again, faster than I am. We'll follow him now, as this is the best perspective to see what happens to me as well. Again, like in many races I had in iRacing, there was not so much action. I mean, the cars are quite hard to drive around Bathurst here, so people have to care for that, as well as not hitting the walls and hitting someone else, because, you know, you lose a safety rating with that quite easily. So mainly I'm driving for myself. No one really wants to fight. It's kind of a problem, but well, it's also due to matchmaking. People around you are always the same pace as you are, so it's hard to really overtake someone. I love the flames coming out of the exhaust of the McLaren there. Really nice to see. By the way, Bathurst 12-hour race also went down last weekend, the 2016 version. I watched a pretty big part of it. I think I watched the first hour, then I watched like 4 hours in between, and I watched the last hour. I would have watched more, but there was the birthday party of my grandfather, so I guess it would have been not so nice of me to go and watch 12 hours of motorsports. Yeah, and what I wanted to say, you could see faster times there and also a completely different track, because I think it was 2 years ago, maybe also 3 years, I don't really know, to be honest. They repaved the whole track. So all the bumps you have in the road, and you can see that the cars are not driving straight, not even on the straights. It's just going left, right. The cars are thrown around. That's a thing of the past now. Track is really smooth. Lap times have gone through the roof, much faster now. So oh, by the way, Nacho, in the last corner he always had problems with understeering. I noticed that earlier as well, and that was something which I kept in mind. So if he would overtake me, or if I would be behind like I was before the pit stop, I kept this as a secret strategy to overtake him. As a racing driver, you always search for opportunities like that. How would I have done it? Well, if you are behind and you see someone being slow in a particular part of a track, you can prepare for that. You can take all your concentration and all your racing strength to just execute an overtake at this exact point. You surprise your opponent with that, because you are faster than the laps before yourself at this point, because you concentrate so much, and also you are faster than your opponent. So this is this can lead to a nice surprise attack, where I see he's really close to the wall in this corner. He's a really nice line. However, as you can see, McLaren much too fast on the straight line. Although he's in the slipstream, he can't keep up with the car. I'm driving on wing setting 3 of 7 or 3 of 8, something like that. So not particularly a very low wing. It is low, but not that low. But yeah, C4. Let's see. Again, he gets a little bit understeering, but I do as well in this corner. But this is just what I wanted you to know. There are some strategies which I already prepared in the case of having to overtake him. So which lap is that? Lap 18? I think this is the penultimate lap, one to follow. So let's see what Nacho can pull out here. I mean, I already know, but I don't want to spoiler you. Oops. My car not in the most stable state there. However, Nacho also loses time, which gives me a little bit of breathing room, which is important because he's much faster around here. I had always problems with this section, not because I don't know how to drive it, but I lost the car more than once on this part of the track. So I was afraid of that, so I was driving a little bit slower on purpose. And you could see nicely how my rear came around a little bit, accelerating from the dipper. It was a really hairy situation for me in the race. If that was on live stream, I would have probably looked into the camera with a big astonished face, something like that, I don't know. So another car in front, I'm not sure if he was leapt. Oops, Nacho taking too much curb and he's losing time. And at this point I was really happy about that little mistake, obviously. Let's just have a quick look. The guy in front of us. Ah, by the way, there was some rumble in front of us. We didn't really notice what happened. As I said, we didn't see the leaders the whole race. However, I'm on P3 right now, so that was just really nice to see after, well, 3/4 or 2/3 of the race being in P3 just out of nowhere. So the guy in front of us, yes, he's a lapped car, he's a damaged car, he's on P13. So I actually don't really remember what happened with him, if we caught him or not. So lap number 19. Maybe the last chance for Nacho. He's going a little wide again on the mountain. He's so fast. He's so fast in the downhill section. Although, oops, again a little mistake. I think at this point he tried everything. He wanted to get closer. He tried everything. Also messing up this corner a little bit. He didn't keep completely cool. I would say it like that. Tony Richter in front, quite far away now. Maybe braking a little bit early into the chase, however he knows there is some room for the guy in the back. Going around slowly in the last corner. And, well, that basically means P3 for Tony, P4 for Nacho. A very nice race. Really nice fight with Nacho there. I really enjoyed that, and well, see how we drive through the finish in slow motion. Car really looks nice with the RSR livery. Well, however, don't want to get lost in memories. It was a really nice race. 40-minute Blancpain Sprint Series. Started from P5, finished in P3. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next race. Bye bye.